Hello and welcome to the UNESCO World Radio Day at the World Heritage Grimeton radio station in Sweden. The theme of the 12th edition of the World Radio Day is Radio and Peace. So we are here today to try to start the 98-year-old transmitter from 1924 and send a peace message to the world. We are all members of the Grimeton Friendship Association, and we are a group of volunteers that are working with this amazing transmitter. I will be your host today, and my name is Anders Börjesson, and to my right I have our radio operator today, Kai Sundberg, who will send a message to the world. On my left hand I have Anders Törborn, who will be the main operator today, and our support, Jan-Åke Gylling. Behind the camera we have Bengt Örnegren, together with Fredrik Wiklund, and down at the audio video mixer, Janne Severinsson, who will make sure that we are heard and seen. And that is the theme of today. Our association was founded in 1996, mainly due to a threat of demolition of this building with this transmitter that was still functional. Those who formed the association was mainly former employees, but also people, local people that had interest in this facility. So they started up to try to preserve this building, and the same year, 1996, the building was protected as a national listed building. And the year after, 1997, the whole site was listed as an industrial cultural heritage. And then the work began to get the whole site listed as a World Heritage. And in 2004, it was listed together with 15 other Swedish heritage. And this is the only electromechanical transmitter from this time that is still available and functioning. And you will see it behind of me. All that is painted black here in the transmitter hall belongs to the long wave transmitter. Down there in that direction we have the auxiliary machines, for example pumps, resistors, and just in front of you there we have the relay corridor where the Morse signal enters the transmitter. Up here we have the control panel where we start up, controls and tunes the transmitter. Over there we have the Alexanderson alternator, the heart of the transmitter, where the carrier wave are produced by a high-frequency generator driven by a 500 horsepower electrical motor via gearbox. Behind the alternator, we have in the corner over there, we have the antenna modulator with the magnetic amplifier, where the carrier wave are chopped up into dots and dashes and conducted to the antenna via the two copper pipes up in the ceiling. We have done some preparation. We have connected the antenna to the antenna modulator. We have controlled all the machines so they are running well. And we have controlled that the lubrication in the bearings is okay. We have also connected a transformer outside in the field that converts 50 kilovolts three-phase voltage to 2.3 kilovolt two-phase into the building here. And that is the voltage we need for the main motor. Okay, by that I think we are ready to start up, and I will ask Anders to go to the emergency switch because we are handling high voltage. And I will go down and start the main power to the facility. And there is an alarm bell ringing because we have no water cooling or lubrication to the alternator. So we are going down to start up the water cooling system. There are two centrifugal pumps. It's for safety reason. If one will break, we can use the other one. Today we will use pump number 1, and Anders will open a valve and supply with water, so we get rid of the air in the pump house. We can have here water with air coming out of the pipe. By that, Anders will turn on the pump motor with a star delta starter. Now he is going to open a circulation valve. It's rather hard work. It has to open it towards the water pressure. We can then follow the increasing water pressure on the manometer over to on the wall there. The nominal pressure will be 2 bar or 30 psi. The cooling system is rather complicated. We have tanks, water tanks outside the building, and water to the pump is supplied from these tanks. And the cooling system is working in a closed loop. So from here it goes through 2 liquid resistors and then up to the alternator, the magnetic amplifier, and then back again. Now Anders is controlling the liquid resistors that we have enough liquid. It will get hot and evaporates, so sometimes we have to add some. Here we have a start resistor that are directly connected to the rotor in the main motor. So with this we can adjust the rotor resistance, and by that control the power of the motor and the speed of the motor. There we have a compensation resistor. When it can immediately lower the rotor resistance when we are using the Morse key, and by that we can hold the motor speed constant. Now we're ready, and we are going to the relay corridor, and Anders will have to put on some protection gloves, because here we have 440 volt on open contacts. He will start 2 circulation pumps in the liquid resistors by putting wooden pieces in the start relays. Now you can hear the water flushing in the resistors. Yeah, Anders is back on the control panel, and he will start the alarm bell again, and we have a persistence alarm because we are having no oil pressure to the alternator bearings. Yeah. By that we are prepared to start up the main motor. So Anders will go to the emergency switch again, and I will go down and start up the main motor. Now you can see that the motor is slowly starting up. There are great masses to be handled. Only the rotor in the high-frequency generator weighs 1,500 kilograms. We are just now, we have about 1,200 volt to the motor and about 200 amps. So it's a lot of power. We are waiting for the motor to rev up, and then the internal oil pump can handle the oil pressure, and then we get an alarm, and Anders will turn off the auxiliary oil pump. Yep. Yeah. We are now waiting for the amperage to go down. Our target amperage is 75 amps. And we follow that on an ammeter on the panel. The initial power to the main motor is limited by 4 choke coils in the power supply that will lower the initial voltage to 1,200 volt. And we are going close to 75 amps, and there Anders will start up 2 rectifiers. One will get 125 to 150 volt DC, and the other one is giving 500 volt DC. The 500 volt DC are used to saturate the transductor or the choke coils, so they will increase the voltage from 1200 to 2300 volts to get even more power on the motor. I think it's time to close the rectifiers. And then Anders will go over to the other side of the panel, and he will close a nice switch with 500 volt DC. And then he saturates the transductors, so they will give full voltage 2,300 volt to the main motor, and you can hear it revving up. At 700 revolutions per minute on the main motor, he will close the next night switch with 250 volt DC. and by that he is magnetizing the high frequency generator, and it starts to generate a carrier wave. And by that he's also starting up an automatic speed control system that feeds back and start up to control the motor speed. We soon can see on the gauges that they are reacting on the speed control system. Anders will use the both control devices there to tune the resistors, so we get to the right frequency. We can on the instrument on top of the pan you can see the frequency. Just now it is 7,186. We are getting near 17,000. That is the frequency we are transmitting. Anders is also monitoring the motor power. Just now, motor voltage. Just now we had 2,100, and now he's getting close to 1,900, and between 1,900 and 2,000, it is the best voltage to control the motor speed. You hear that very much is about controlling the motor speed, because the frequency is directly related to the motor speed. I think just now we have 17.2 kilohertz on the transmitter, and I think Anders, we are satisfied, and we leave it there, and Anders will go down and start a cooling fan. The cooling fan is used to blow out sparks and cool the contactors in the relay corridor. There are large contactors, and they are a part of the speed control system. If there are no cooling, the contactors should be damaged. I think we still are satisfied, and Anders will connect the transmitter to the antenna modulator, and by that we are connecting we are connected to the antenna. Now he's controlling that transmitter is that the switches can be key. And it also is tuning the transmitter to the antenna by a variable tuning coil, a variometer. So we get maximum power out of the antenna. It is rather complicated. Yeah. Leave it there and let it stabilize for a moment. Okay. Okay. He's turning the key switches to the operator's table and start the paper tape reader. And the paper tape reader, it converts the characters on the punch type to Morse code, and it will be www the SAQ, and www means hello hello, and de is French and it's here, and SAQ is our call sign. Okay. Well. Okay. We leave the www, the SAQ loop running, and then the radio enthusiasts out into the world can tune in on their receivers. And I think it's time to take a short walk outside and have a look at the antenna. Oh, it's a beautiful afternoon here in Grimeton. The sun is setting, and it's 4 to 5 degrees centigrade. In front of me we have a cooling fountain, and behind here we have the antenna towers, 127 meter high, one of the tallest construction in Sweden when it was built. Over there we have the beautiful building, radio station built in neoclassical style by Carl Åkerblad, the Swedish architect, who has also designed other well-known Swedish buildings from this period and on. And then we can follow the antenna wires up to the first tower and then away to the other 5 towers. The 6 towers together X that as one antenna, 2,200 meters long. From each tower there is a vertical radiant that is producing the radio wave, and the tower was designed by a structural engineer, Henrik Krüger, and the antenna was developed by Ernst Alexanderson, who also invented the Alexanderson alternator. The top net distributes the power going out from the alternator, but it also acts together with the ground net as a capacitor. It was extremely efficient, about 13% compared with, for example, Marconi's antennas that had 3% efficiency. We are transmitting with about 80 kilowatt with the alternator, and from that about 88 kilowatt goes out into the air. And now I want to introduce our representative, Per Berglund, from the World Heritage Grimeton, who will say a few words.
Thank you. My name is Per Berglund, and I have indeed the honor of representing the Grimeton World Heritage Site Foundation. We are very happy that you are joining us today in our celebration of the International World Radio Day. Proclaimed by the member states of UNESCO in 2011, the main goals of this day is to raise awareness of the importance of radio in general, along with furthering support for it as a medium. This year's theme is Radio and Peace, and it aims to highlight the role of independent radio in conflict prevention and peace building, be it as a channel for professional and independent journalism, as an arena of dialogue and discussion, or as a reliable source of information in hard-to-reach places. Independent radio offers many ways of moderating conflict and easing tensions. Not only that, it can also contribute to avoid escalation in the first place. However, as with any medium, it can be misappropriated, and therefore increased support for independent radio is vital. Only then can it fulfill its potential as a mediator and bridge between people. An article from December 1920 about Alexanderson's high-power transmitting system had the following to say regarding the then relatively new radio medium. It is thus not an exaggeration to say that the emancipation of the human spirit that was begun by the invention of the printing press has found its fulfillment in radio communication. Radio makes the transmission of ideas from man to man and from nation to nation, independent of not only of any frail material carrier such as a wire, but above all it renders such communications independent of brute force that might be used to isolate one part of the world from another. The quote goes to show that even a century ago, the belief that radio as a way of bridging divides was already present, and despite predating the formation of UNESCO, it certainly conveys the sentiment of building peace in the minds of men and women. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Per, for these words. We are now waiting for the time to be 4 o'clock Central European Time or 3 o'clock UTC. We have now about 4 minutes left. So we are starting up, preparing for the transmission. We have about 2 minutes left and Kai is preparing.
telegrammet är slut, vad gör vi då? Ja, men då är det kamera på dig.
Okej, då det... Thank you, Kai. Impressive. And that was the message from us here at Grimeton today. An important message today that reaches the whole world in all directions. You can read the message on the screen now, I think. The message was it was done by the Varberg Calling for Peace Network together with the World Heritage Grimeton radio station and the Alexanderson Grimeton Friendship Association. We hope that you all out there have been able to receive the SAQ well, and that you enjoyed listening to the SAQ. We want your listeners' report, and if you didn't hear anything, report anyhow. The listeners' report are very important for us. So please send us your listeners' report, and we will send you electronic QSL from us. If there is any problem, go in on our website, alexander.n.se, and where you can find all the information you need to send us a report. By that, it's time to start a fantastic transmitter. And I will ask Anders to switch off the two nice switches with 500 and 250 volt DC. And he's also and I will switch off the main motor. And Anders switched off the two rectifiers, and he will now decrease the level in the start and compensation resistor to the start position. You can hear that the motor is revving down, and now we are waiting that the internal oil pump can no longer handle the lubrication, and then we get an alarm again, and we will turn on the auxiliary oil pump again. It takes about 9 minutes for the alternator to complete start after we have turned off the motor power. And now we have the alarm, and the auxiliary oil pump is on. And then Anders will turn off the cooling fan. Also, it is not needed anymore. Okay. And by that, we have finished our mission today to start up the old transmitter and send a peace message to the world. But before ending, I must tell you that the association, Alexanderson Friendship Association, today have about 750 members. But of course, we want you all as members. So just go in on our website, alexander.n.se, and join us. It is very important for us. It helps us to keep this amazing transmitter up and going. By that, it is time for us to say thank you to all that has been watching us, seeing our video, and to all you that have been listening to us out there. And by that, from us in Grimeton, thank you very much for listening and watching. We hope that you enjoyed it. We did. Bye-bye.